Welcome back to Gold Derby. I'm Christopher Rosen. I'm so pleased to be joined by Quincy Isaiah, who plays Magic Johnson on the HBO series Winning Time: The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty. Quincy, I love this performance. You're incredible as Magic Johnson. I know the pilot for the show shot in 2019, and then obviously you picked up again in 2021 because of the pandemic and stuff. So you spent a lot of time with Magic Johnson as a character. Was there like a moment you had or anything specific where you were like, yes, now I actually fully understand this character, I guess? Like, was there like an aha moment or something where a light went off where you were like, yes, I got this?
Um, no, I will say there were moments that where I was like, oh, I didn't think of it that way. Or there were moments of a deeper understanding of the character, but I wouldn't necessarily say there was a moment where I was like, I got him. Because like I think as an actor, you gotta allow yourself to always be ready for change and whatever comes up. So you never really can truly know your character until maybe when you're done, or maybe even then it's not, So I'm still figuring them out.
That's awesome. So obviously, like, what kind of? I'm sure you read the book and stuff, and like obviously the basketball is such a key component. Like, where did you when you got cast, and like where did you start? I guess in researching like magic. Like, what's the first thing you were like? Oh, did read the book, or like what was your idea there?
Yeah, so I auditioned. I didn't know what I was auditioning for. And then once I got the call back, that's when I went and listened to the audio book, Showtime, and I listened to it on Audible. And I just started watching videos on YouTube of Magic at like during that time, and some stuff of him in recent times as well, but less so. I wanted to really try and hone in onto who I felt like he was at that time period. So I tried to avoid too much modern day stuff. I tried to not go into too many details. Like if something happened in like 85 or 86, I tried to like avoid that period of time, just know what happened in like 79, 80, and then work my way back as much as possible.
So what did you come up with like when you're like what was your takeaway of him as like at that point of his life, basically?
Yeah, somebody who knew that where their trajectory was. As a 15-year-old, you got grown people calling you Magic, as a nickname. So I think he had this idea of where he was going, but even then, you still don't know what's coming until it's there. So I think understanding this new world that he's stepping into, he knows there are some things there that he's going to be ready for, but there are also things you won't know about until it's there, until you're in it. And once you're around it, then you can start trying to learn how to best move through whatever challenges it might give you. So
Right. Yeah, I love I like I said, I love the show. I love the arc. The arc of Magic is incredible, and like obviously throughout the season, he's gaining more and more confidence, and you feel like more and more that he's like, even though he's obviously so preternaturally talented, like coming into his own as like who he wants to be and stuff. Did you feel like that mirroring? Did you feel that at all, like as an actor, like be stepping into this role? Because it's like obviously like just like, hey, here you are leading this massive show, and you're so good. I just was like, I wonder if you felt like that was like kind of like a parallel track.
100%. Those are part of those moments are what I was referring to when I said like moments where I'm like, all right, I feel it. I feel it in my character. I feel my character, and I feel myself slipping into it. Understanding that I'm a rookie being asked a lot to do, on this show with people that are great, as Kareem was in his, at basketball. There are people that are like that on our show and acting. So it's just about understanding my role and drawing on those parallels and like really tapping into those. Because like you said, as I grew, or as Magic the character grew, I felt like Quincy the actor was growing as well. So I think that's a lot of things I'm hearing a lot. Like that's what people can resonate with. It's like that comfortability in as Magic being great and as me being an actor,
Mm-hmm.
So
you mentioned the cast, and obviously it's like just a murderer's row. Everybody on the show is so good. Like John C. Reilly, like Adrian Brody. I love the scene you have. I think it's in episode 8. Magic is with Jerry West right at the end after I think they lose to Philly, and like he kind of gets like hustled a little bit by Dr. J, basically Magic. And you have this great scene with Jason Clarke as Jerry West. And I thought that's such a great moment and such a great character moment. I felt like for Magic. Can you talk about that sequence and like, I guess like how you did that, for lack of a better term, but I think that's a great scene. And I feel like for Magic, like such a key moment for his character and like, where he's going for the remainder of the season.
Yeah. So first off, that was one of my favorite scenes. Just because I didn't get to act alongside Jason Clarke too often, where it's just us. So I think that was one of my favorite scenes that I got to shoot. And I just remember, wanting to bring all the stuff that happened in episode 8, with the baby and Cookie and losing to Dr. J and like all the things that's going on with not really knowing about Cindy and Dr. Day. Like it was a lot going on in Magic's mind at that time. And I think for him, winning the championship was the epitome, like that's what it was all about. That's what it made everything worth it, So I think for Jason, me to do that scene with Jason, and like he's pushing me, you know what I mean? Like he's like, I don't believe you, like I don't believe you, mate. Like, well, he didn't do that because he doesn't break his accent, but like he's just like, I don't believe you, like, and go, I want you, like, do you really want to win? Like, so I'm just like screaming and like, and you find a happy medium between like this huge and this like low, and like that's what you end up seeing on the screen is just like him pushing me, but also like me trying to control that, So it's
that's awesome, and it's great, and he's just so dialed up as Jerry West is awesome. Just like,
love him. That's my favorite. Right.
So good. Yeah, obviously the basketball is such a key component. I know you have like an athletic background and stuff, but obviously you're not Magic Johnson, or not as good as Magic Johnson, certainly. No offense meant, but like, how did you? I think you train with Rick Fox, so obviously like he's like a former NBA player and stuff, and like very capable. But like, you have it down so well, and it's just like the basketball scenes on this show really feel realistic, even if they're not exactly like the Showtime Lakers. They're like, you're like pulling off those no-look passes. You're like doing it really well. How much effort is that, and how much time is it like for the NBA Finals game? Like that's the whole episode, almost the last episode. And it's like, I'd imagine it had to take you, I mean, like, what is that like for you guys as actors to like do that and actually have to play the game and also act? And there, I think it's like incredible.
So the first thing that I ever remember wanting to be in life was a basketball player. I wanted to be a professional basketball player. And my mom's just like, nah, like you got to go to college. So that went out my mind real quick. But I will say just being able to like go to court, like go to practice, you know what I mean? And do that a few times a week. Now we just started back up. So, but like for the pilot, I started that months in advance, 3-4 months in advance with training, as well as like physical training with weights, as well as basketball training. And once the pandemic hit, we started that back up in like June of 2020. So it was just months of preparation and just being able to, so with Edon Ravine, he was the basketball coach who actually like was daily with us daily, teaching us how to, like dribble like Magic and pass like Magic and all these different things. So it was a lot of time that went into it. But again, I love basketball. So I love being able to feel like I can go play pickup and be much better than I was a year ago, and actually wow some people, be like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, I got that now. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was gonna ask if you're able to go and like kind of school people or just fool people into being like
you gotta use your powers. Like you can't just get superpowers and then not use them. Like I gotta go hoop. I gotta go see what it looked like.
So like for the finals, how long does that take you to do like that last game, like a game 6 or like it's just again like incredible like stamina, I'd imagine.
Yeah, so that one was probably like 2 weeks. Just because it was just so rigorous and it had so many story beats, like me dunking on Dr. J, me getting dunked on, like me like doing the sky hook, Norm shooting the jumper, Wilkes doing, and then it's a lot of stuff that don't make it to the the final cut. So it's like it's a lot that goes into it. Yeah, it would, but again, it's one of them things where it's like those 2 weeks, you know, it's gonna be like it's basketball, you know, it's all these people, like you got the fans in the stands, and it's just high energy days. So it's a lot of energy.
Yeah, it's awesome. And like, I mean, I think it's great because you guys are all able to like I just think it's incredible that you're able to like do the physical basketball of it and then also perform, you know what I mean? Like there's in the finale, you have that great moment with Norm Devon Nixon where it's like where he's like, I got you, and it's like such a great completion of their arc throughout the first season. And I was like, man, that's a great scene. In addition to like you pulling off like no look passes and skyhooks and stuff, it's like it's really cool. It's really good.
It's so fun. There's no other job that I could have imagined being as good as this one for my first role. You know,
right? Yeah.
like it's incredible. So
do you have like I know that I know that the team has been like a little like, you know, obviously it's a fictionalization or, you know, whatever. I mean, but like, have you heard from like any, like, do you hear from like current NBA players about the authenticity of it? Or I don't know how that works. Like, I can't, like, are you able, like, does anybody been like, oh, cause I feel like it does, especially the way you guys, the show like treats the team and the camaraderie of the team, I think is like super authentic to at least my impression as like a fan of sports. And I think players nowadays would definitely resonate with that, but I guess I'm curious what your experience is from that aspect of it.
yeah, I mean, anything in terms of like the brotherhood or the camaraderie of the team has been positive. And just like even we spoke Solomon and Rodney and we spoke with Spencer Haywood, like the real Spencer Haywood, and just hearing him talk about how much he enjoyed it and how much he thought was authentic. It was like, I don't know, it was like okay, cool, you know, like so I think our writers just do a really good job of putting this world together, and then we got a lot of people that's good at executing what they dream up, you know, and yeah, I'm just thankful to be on it.
It's awesome. You mentioned like you're obviously already in prep for season 2, which is just nuts to me because like the first season just ended clearly. I think like you're gonna be back in production probably later this year or whatever. So that's like you're coming in. You don't have to spoil it, even though obviously it's history, but like, you know, it's like this is next year is like pretty. There's a lot for Magic, I'd say. Like obviously, I think he gets hurt in real life, and like, you know, like the team kind of scuffles a little bit, and then you have like sorry, are you looking forward to that, or like how you like, what is your, like, I just feel like this is, and especially the way the season ended, you know, with Magic winning MVP and the Kareem stuff, I think there's like a lot of it definitely set up things that are going to be very fun. But I mean, like, for your perspective, like, how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I think we gonna get to see a different side of Magic, you know, and just the different side of the team. I think a lot of the first season was establishing who these people are prior to the knowledge of who we know them to be today. So we got to reestablish them in our world, who they are. And I think season 2, now that we know what's happening, like who these people are, we just get to hit the ground running, you know, and really just dig deep and dive into some deeper stuff. So I'm excited. I'm ready to, I think I'm gonna be able to push myself, hopefully, you know. I think I know that the team is excited, like in terms of like the writing team. My fellow actors are excited about what's coming, and just doing it better. You know, like if you got to get better. You don't stay the same. You either get worse or get better. I think we all are looking forward to getting better. So.
I mean, like even in the first season, like you guys, like the ratings kept going up. I feel like the buzz on the show kept increasing throughout the season. I think people really were excited about it. That's obviously very probably you know, something that was nice to see. I think that people were responding. So like the word of mouth for the show is like really growing, it felt like. I mean, I'm sure you saw that, noticed that as well, right?
Yeah. And I also think it was made that way, you know,
right.
And I think it's gonna continue that way. Hopefully. That's
right.
the plan, you know.
So you're obviously, like you said, like this, like your first role, like leading the show. It's kind of incredible, like, basically. Do you have like, I mean, like, what do you, like, a broad question certainly, but like, what do you want to do? Like, what else do you want to do? And like, how do you want to like take advantage of this opportunity? And I think your performance is so great that I feel like you probably are going to be able to get, you know, a lot of people coming to want to work with you, because I just think that you're so engaging as Magic, and like it's such a great character. And like I said, the arc throughout the season was so impressive. So I mean, like, what are you looking to do, you know, like going forward, I guess, after, like, in addition to winning time?
I'm gonna still align for Magic, everything. Like I want to do it all. I want to be pushed and challenged as an actor and just really get better at my skill and craft, and that, I mean, and be smart about it, but also like just work and do good work, So I don't know what that looks like, but as long as I get to work with good people and do good material, I'm happy, So
Yeah, it's incredible. Like I said, I just love the performance, love the show. Quincy Isaiah plays Magic Johnson on Winning Time. You can watch all the episodes now on HBO Max, and we'll look forward to season 2. Thank you for doing this.
yeah.